like a dog coming at you. And then today they ran from across the street at me. Okay. And then yesterday when I was walking down Milton Street, a group of them were walking this way, and one of them made a loud noise like "Ugh," at me. Look, I will beat the fuck out of you. Okay. And like you're confused. You're confused. So you really need to stay the fuck away from me. That's why I cross the street and stuff when I'm walking. Because people are watching what you're doing. And like I said, because people are in face masks and maintenance and not doing anything and not reacting to you because they know that you're deranged primates. They know it. It's been going on since you people moved in. It's at least 3 years you've been doing it. And now there's more of them in that area. Okay. So you need to control yourselves. You need to control yourselves because someone could flip out on you. Okay. Right. Just stop running up at me when I'm walking around and then making loud noises at me when I'm walking around. Okay. There's something wrong with you people mentally. And it's not my imagination. That's 3 times in, well, the last 2 was 2 days, if it was the same people. Because it was right up the street from that house on Milton Street. Where what was that, an insurance company up there? It was right around that area. So it could have been the same people. You're clearly not from Dedham. Like I just said, I grew up in Dedham. You're not from Dedham. I was in that house since 2011 when I came back up here. That's the house I grew up in. So I know when you moved in. Because it was a woman who had a dog who lived there. Okay, so you're not from Dedham. And people notice when all these other people are moving in here when we can't get housing. And you decided that you were going to monopolize on that. You and the people across the street that bought the Cody's house and the dude next to it who bought the Buttery's house. Okay, so just stay in your containment area. People don't even say anything to you about what you've done. And you won't leave me alone. Okay, and you will leave me alone. I hate to say it, but somebody will just burn the house down and you'll be relocated to like Roxbury or Quincy, like a city where you belong. I said it from day one when you people moved in there with the loud music and the parties and the screaming and terrorizing the people in the house next to you with the nice children that aren't loud and aggressive like that. Hopefully they moved. Because I'm sure you terrorized the fuck out of them too. Sickening. That's why people don't like you people moving in. Exactly. It's you. Everything that people negative they said about you is true. And other people that look like you don't like it either. Anyways. Thank God. Obviously, God prevents them from hanging out at like the libraries and stuff. You just go. Or like any of the practice field or memorial field. People would just be like mortified with their children and they'd have to leave. Why do you keep running up to us and making bebop noises and shit at us? Please go home. Actually, the sun's not even out right now. It felt wicked humid. These guys got to get their pool going, which like I said, excuse me, in person maybe, not on it. It's not funny. It's really not. But anyways. Well, yeah, it's like I said, it's a false sense of security so that they'll never think to leave. Right? It's just from time to time, right? It's like a small event from time to time because an otherwise pleasant day, I know right towards the end of the walk and you're just like, you're doing that again? I did. As soon as they did it, said into my phone, that's twice. So clearly I wasn't wrong. You did do it on purpose. It's like, okay, it's as bad as the people at the lumber yard pulling their cars out every time you walk by the same vehicle. You're on both. They're on both sides of the streets, obviously doing it too. You just go, well, people have different interpretations of things, like things that are in the news. That's what the problem is. People that are deranged think deranged things when they hear the fake news, right? They just, that means that you go out and terrorize people that are walking around, apparently. I don't think that's what the message is. That promotes people not wanting to shut things down because then what do we do about you people? Right. It's just you promote people saying you've got to be in a cage, you've got to be contained. Because there's people that have firearms and bats and fire engines and bulldozers and stuff. That's why, and tanks, and we don't want it to come to that. So you were repeatedly told to stop doing that to people. That none of it's funny. You're not allowed to cause wars and fights on all your neighborhood streets and have a big brawl and chaos and canisters in the street and smashing storefronts and things that don't make any sense. There's never a need of that. Right? Just anyways. Um, well, that's why people like that do well in cities where they have like the Y and Big Brothers, and they give them things to do. Um, didn't there used to be basketball court up, but that's in elementary school. That's what I said. God might be not letting them go up there, right? Because they're too sick, so that they don't go anywhere. They're just there doing that to people. So, and then meanwhile, there's some young dude up in the bench up at the bridge by the CVS and the Dunkin' Donuts. He's either clearly homeless or he's trying to appear homeless. Right? Just some of you people are not a welcome sight. Okay, right? It's just people are trying to be nice, and we understand why there's a big influx of people there because it's a phase out area. Um, I would have gladly left and quote unquote let you people take over. Okay, for real. But I haven't been allowed to do that. I'm forced to live here amongst you. So, again, false sense of security. Some people probably thought that meant that a nuclear reactor can repair itself because they surmised that I knew people in the military and they're mentally deranged. Okay? They did it to a whole bunch of military families. And just people that probably even knew anybody in the military or didn't vote for Barack Obama or whatever the fuck it was. But it clearly just was a targeted um, rolling Holocaust foreclosure just to turn over properties to other people and not even house us after that. Just throw us out in the street and start putting that all over the news like we're all uh, drunken pedophiles and why are we peeing under bridges and stuff. It's called a Holocaust when primates go bonkers. Right. So, anyways, uh, this was my concern too, and I'll find out after today, even though I wasn't even on the sun that long, is the other two times that I tried to tan, I did have a headache. Right. And I was like trying to figure out if it was from probably tension from doing abs and arms because I get like a certain thing that goes on with my neck when I'm doing arm stuff and abs a lot. It's I think it's tight muscles. Like your muscles get so strong and tight from what you're doing, and then every once in a while, it's like, and it actually like does something to your neck and compresses it because your muscles are getting so strong, and then you like it snaps and then it goes away. Like there's a nerve in there or something, but I think it's just muscles. It's a weird thing that happens. Um, I don't know if it was that or not because it felt more piercing than that. Like I was like, oh no, is there something going on with the sun, or I'm just getting so old that I can't sit in the sun now? I don't know if that happens to old people or not. Because I used to do it for hours and hours, and obviously from the nuclear and the thinning of the atmosphere and stuff, right? And then not having glasses and squinting all the time, because that's going to make us all ugly. Because we have 11s or whatever they call it. That's why they don't give you glasses. Yeah, it's just you go, okay. I'm not even trying to have a boyfriend, but you're gonna make me ugly, and then I don't know what that does. You can cope that day. When I'm on line a lot, it's worse. It goes away pretty much when I'm not on the computer. It's from squinting to read. I don't understand some of their stuff because I explained some of the stuff I thought was cool, like just my visual perceptions of my, at least for me, my aging process and stuff. I don't understand people. I've explained it where I thought they were completely just becoming more and more oriented towards children, like they're completely sick with pedophilia. Right, just they don't like anything that's mature and sexy and seductive. They flip out and they think that you're dirty and gross and all this stuff because you're an adult female. And it's like everything is supposed to be round and full and fat like a child. And even your behavior is supposed to be childlike. You just go, that's gross. Like, and you're supposed, I don't know, some of it too, like, no offense to some dudes, but some people, they all want dudes that look like they're children. Yeah, some of them are gross like that. Um, I think it's more sort of the way that they treat the men that they're with, more so than what the men look like, actually. Right? Like, if when you see it, you know what I'm talking about. That, like I explained it, it's more profound when the dudes are on something because they literally drag these dudes around like it's the dude is half dead. My hand to God, like the dudes will be completely drunk and off drugs, and they're just like intoxicated, just roaming around with these gross old fat women. They're always old and fat and ugly. And their interactions, it's like, are you his mother or are you okay? Like your whole relationship is, and then like I told you, that those people that invited me into their life, which was probably by mistake, I'm sure. You just go, are you guys, is that actually your son? Because I know that you lie about people being your brother. Okay. Is that really not your son? Because your behavior is kind of like freaking me out. Right. That's why I can't have any interaction with you, is because I was talking about this at the Endicott Estate. If you've ever been in a situation like this, it could be other people too, because you go, like I've heard about this, like Ashley Judd explained to us about incest, and I didn't think people did that into adulthood. Like I think that's what's really kind of freaking me out about them. He's like 24, 25 years old. You go, he didn't like grow up and go to therapy and then have nothing to do with you yet. Like what? Probably other people in Quincy Center, they're never going to admit it, but they probably listen to me going, yeah, I know, just because they came from abuse themselves, and they go, he hasn't like gone and just, half of them will tell you that was their life. That's why they're homeless out there on drugs all the time. Like, and you just go, like, I said this into the phone at Endicott State. It's like I'm studying a species, right? If I had the opportunity, um, and there was people around me, and I knew that she couldn't attack me, they would probably never answer me though. I'd go, okay, so when we were at that thing, where we were supposed to be just taking a shower and walking back, and all of a sudden she wants to lay out in the sun when she never did it at the beach with other people there. Okay. And I was like, I have a rash. And she got mad at me too. It's like, I'm sorry, I have a rash. I can't really sit in the sun. I just bathe so that everything can dry out. Um, it- like she's laying down, so I'm semi laying down, as modest as I am. She's in like a halter top and short shorts, and she's almost 60. And I'm like, I know, because like that's your kid, and I'm in those long blue shorts, and it's I don't even know if it was a tank top like this or a t-shirt. So I semi do this to try to get a little bit of like, yeah. And I noticed that he's sitting up. So I would go, okay, Michael, you're sitting up. Are you trying to check me out or you're looking at your own mother? Is that something you guys do all the time? Okay. Because when we walked down to the dog park to sleep, and she again laid down, and then I laid down to go to sleep, you again sat up. Like, are you trying to look at me or look at your own mother? Because it has to be one of those two things. Okay. It's gross. Yeah. I don't know if I like Paul just didn't realize they were doing that. That she's telling this Paul guy I'm a psycho. Well, explain those two events when I was hanging out with the two of you. And nobody else was there. Okay. And the thing about the mattress and the tent and making up an excuse to get rid of his tent, that was his tent, right? That she offered to me. That's making up an excuse to get him out of a tent and trying to get him into her tent. Okay. And then the room that's tiny with the big, huge bed that they're sharing, that was after they got rid of me. Okay. And just the event with the babysitting came off as weird to me too, like it was an excuse to get rid of me, and they may have not even gone anywhere. That's the like because I've seen people doing that. It's all part of being locked into sexual deviance and abuse. It's just weird to have adults doing it. Like adults do that stuff to children, but it's just weird when the person is now 24, 25 years old and it's going on right in front of your face. Like they're so intoxicated that they don't realize what they're doing or something, that it's that obvious. Right? You just go, uh, and it's just the whole setup, like a chair and a bed, and just, yeah, you just go, she lied and she was like, he's not living there. This is what she first told me when I first went out there. He's not living there, but she gets to visit him. And then, what the hell are you talking about? He lives here with you in this room, obviously. And then she's telling you they have a conversation about he wants to move. He wants to take his relationship with his girlfriend to the next level. This is what she's telling me. She just, nothing she says makes any sense, but I'm a psycho. Okay. I don't know how long people are going to believe I'm a psycho if she's talking like that to other people. You just go, okay, you told me that he hadn't had a girlfriend really for more than 2 weeks. Then you clear out storage units and you tell me that he was like engaged. He was going to get married. And you have a plastic sperm and that was it. Like you got rid of her. Like you got rid of her and now you're clearing out the storage like you got rid of me in 2020 and took all my stuff. It just was bizarre. And then she's telling me that now all of a sudden he wants to take his relationship with his girlfriend to the next level, and he's supposedly asking her about renting a 3-bedroom house. And then she says she doesn't want to do that. She doesn't see any reason for doing that. That the three of them can now live in that room together with the big huge bed. If you've been in there, it's a tiny room. The bed takes up the whole room. Like, and then she has items like she's trying to prevent you from being able to just sleep on the floor. I know you go. Hopefully he did move to Seattle. I was saying that too. They could have just made that up. They could if they're lying and saying he's not living there. They could be lying and say he moved and he's still in the room with her right now. I know you just go, I'm just glad I don't have to look at That's all. Oh yeah, I'm sure just some people, because unfortunately the services out there, and there's just so many of them. And when you're an adult, and people have tried to intervene and talk to you, and you're an adult and you won't stop whatever it is, having sex with your own mother, sleeping with your mother, being raped by your friends, whatever it is that's going on, um, there's not much anyone can do after a while. Right. It's just people are really much more concerned with trying to quote unquote rescue children, like literal children and minors. Even that's become difficult. It is. You just have to kind of let God take care of it. Like I said, I'm forced around it when I don't even want to be. Right. It's just that whole entire thing that happened to me, even meeting those people. Right. Just the whole entire 2 years, I guess, in total of observing it. It just, I have no desire to be a social worker at all. No, it's just I'm forced around certain things. And anyways, oh yeah, yesterday was like, oh god. Well, you saw how uh, low everything is down, and then I ate a whole pound of peanuts with raisins in it. I drank 3 liters of this on top of what I drink in the morning. And then I tried to eat one of those big salads with the whole pound of hamburger in it. I actually did. I ate the whole thing. I ate the last bit of hamburger because if it was just lettuce, I would have just thrown it away. But I need the protein. I know it's probably stupid. I probably should not do that again. And I'm not poo pooing salads. Please don't get upset. That's not what I meant. It was my mistake because it's sort of like I need to just have the salad and not eat the peanuts that day. And that's a lot of water. I don't usually drink that much, but I noticed that I've been drinking more water. I've been thirstier. I know all about it. Mayonnaise has salt in it, and I don't have any other. You know, some people start going crazy. You're probably salt depleted. Apparently, you get thirstier. Uh, anyways, that was good. I saw a bunch of people walking around. I was talking about that too with that Dakota State. I'm like, oh wait, I did say the library because I was like, I'm not inviting people to go watch me tan, which is not going to be exciting, by the way. Yeah. I think that a person goes to an, I'm not even talking about myself, that goes to an area where there's not a lot of traffic is not a sex offender. They're probably in a similar thing. Just there isn't really a place for the person to go, and they're going to be attacked and sticks are thrown, and yeah, just sometimes it's better off doing certain things away. Like if she's going to get that upset, then right, it's just I got to go somewhere else to do it. I'm really not trying to be on display. It's just if that's going to cause a person to flip out and then she doesn't want to eat, and I know you just go. Could you imagine if I was in a bathing suit at the pool and stuff? You just, I had all that at my house. Yeah. Anyways, people with backpacks. Yeah. I thought about going up Star Market since I was so close, but it's because of the weather. I'm getting all screwed up by it. I took salmon out. Yeah. I have a whole bag of tilapia too. I don't know. Ever since I moved away from here in 1995, I really don't have a thing about seafood. So that's just a warning to people. Some people like to know about those things because, right, you might have not known that about me before. That I do actually like seafood. So it could be a warning about stuff in the food that's temporary. It's not going to be forever. It's just tilapia is a farm raised fish, right? So that one's probably better. They probably do it with salmon too, but I know tilapia is. So it's not going to have as much mercury and stuff in it. I used to love shellfish, which obviously I avoid eating now because it's right in the book we're not supposed to. Um, right. So if you're still eating that stuff, just so you know, you might get sick from it. And in terms of the shellfish, you're being kind of selfish because that's in there to clean the ocean, which is a dire need of cleaning. So I still haven't done that either. Bathrooms are full up. It was supposed to originally rain tomorrow, and now they're saying it's going to be sunny again. So we have another day to take them. Wednesday, I've been doing arms Wednesday and Saturday. So in terms of the long walk, I know I'm getting all mixed up on the long walk, but I'm trying not to get. It's almost like I cut out one day and it's messed me up. I'd be doing some sort of hearings or something. That's what it sounds like she's listening to. I'm gonna have to change because excuse me, you get sweaty outside. I'm start getting tired now. I like to sit here so I can cool off before I change my clothes. I actually had a really good day yesterday and last night, and this morning started out, and then there was a thing, and then it was fine again, and then that was the thing. Oh, no, it'll be fine in about 5 more minutes. So, well, because I don't like it, but sometimes it's like it's got to be him, sort of, right? Because you just go. That's why I said I felt bad, and then it happened again. Right? You just go. You do. You even still feel bad because they're like youths. Yeah. You even still feel bad, but it's like clearly that's what's going on. It's just too much aggression. Um, so I don't think 2 times is a coincidence. That's why isn't that funny that I said that too about the lumberyard? Remember that? That if you were new, I don't know who moved into that house, but say that you moved into that house, God rest your soul. Um, Unless you're like the children of these people and you can't control what they're doing, right? So, and you just say you smoke or something, or you're going to go down to that gas station to get a soda every single day because you're on a minimum walk, okay? How many times would you walk past something that weird before you start to go, never react to them? Never. Is that why they started going on both sides of the streets? Because people are ignoring them? Just keep ignoring them. Yeah. Trust me. I was living in that house when they moved in. Okay. And the people across the street, they have the same issue. And as you can probably hear and tell, they're not Americans, those people. Okay. Just they're being handed houses. And it becomes more and more, unfortunately, the newer people are obviously psychopathically deranged. And they have that disease where they're going to make people lose their mind and stuff because they want constant attention from people. That's the only reason they did it. Okay. Like, they're just, their entire reality of their lives was that usually white people are superior to them and they did something to them. And they're unhappy because they don't have power and money. But believe me, I had to go through all of the insanity at Framingham State College in 1990. It was already going on within your state colleges, uh, right? In Framingham, Massachusetts, you go. This is a state college. Like, you can't even see the insanity of what you're doing here. Why am I at a state college if I'm an elitist and only I can be prejudiced because I have the power? And just your mind F doesn't work on me. No. Anyways, I had to fight tooth and nail to even get into that college in terms of finances and my life. So yeah, you could just go. Al flipped out. I don't even, you know, my opinion of Al, but he flipped out at the thing. He actually flipped out at the thing. I just tolerated it. And like, you just do it, just so you people know. We go through the motions and none of it penetrates our mind. We just go, these people are insane. And I had to do this to attend this college. Right. To some degree, you forget about it when you start having children too. And it's like, it should have been nipped in the bud then, like in terms of things that you could have done from that experience, starting from 1990 on, is fighting it and letting every other person know who's having children and stuff what these people are doing, because they're so deranged. They're just constantly trying to brainwash you into you're bad and all this stuff. It's just, it's like the secret knowledge or something. It's just a whole movement of these people that are deranged. So, anyways, um, I honestly think to some degree they're particularly abusive to people that are lower income and white people, right? And just anybody that has a life problem and a dysfunction. Yeah, just the things that I've encountered in the past 12 years. So, anyways, um, yeah, that's right. If you were in that house and you started doing that every day you go, just ignore them. The people, they used to get into it with the people across the street. The one on the corner there that was the Codys. It was an Italian family that lived there. The father died. It was like the mother and the daughter forever. I think that there was a son too. Right. So, anyways, they would stop blasting their music, and then that house there backs up to the back of that house that I was evicted from. They would start doing it back and forth like literal words in a jungle. Oh yeah, just um, they probably, like I said, their perceptions are they're probably taking over that entire little street there because they're there to be nuked and bombarded with free electrons to kill them off. I know you have to think. They don't think. You have to think in the grand scheme of it. Like, when you're psychopathically deranged, you get sick like this, like Aileen, okay? Where they believe that all the powers that be agree with them. That's what they believe. Like Nancy Pelosi is deranged and Joe Biden's deranged, and they all hate me too. They all hate the Virgin Mother. They hate all the white people. They hate Americans. They hate all the patriots. They hate the military. They hate the cops. And they're all in it with you to take all our houses and throw us on the street and take our children and deny us medical care and give you our houses. They believe it. Okay? It's called being corralled into an area to get rid of them. Because obviously, the powers that be have known a problem population on the planet for at least 20 years. 25 years, you got to go all the way back. I'm sure they realized it before Ron and Nicole, but at that point, they knew there was a serious problem. Okay. And even after it was pointed out about Barack Obama at a drive up rally, they believe all of that was done to do a Holocaust on us. They still believe it. And it's part of a God delusion that they're always going to believe. So just try to ignore them. I know it's difficult, and people don't like to be quote unquote bigoted, right? Try not to just carry that across the board, because there's probably Americans in the military that are not white that they've done it to them too. It's just, I got to say, most of the people I've met since I've been up here and homeless are not of color. They're all white. And people that are not white could have actually partaked in finding out how bad it was, right? By going into these shelters and getting immediately housed while there's people just sitting in these shelters for 10 years. So they know that they're doing it too. And they probably reported it back to the military. Right. It's just, they're part of the helpful containment of these people. Um, so try not to just get just every person you meet, but, and like I said, I went to college with people from Haiti. Um, they go to college, and yes, they were being, I think they were given free college, but they were working in the college with me, and it was a state college. Right. So you go, that could be why the dude wants to associate with being Dominican. He might not like American blacks, and he's like, just so you know, I'm not an American black. I'm not African American. I'm Dominican. That would be what he's saying. Is that part of Haiti? Is that part of Haiti? What's the thing that Labadee is on? Is that, I know I'd have to look it up. Yeah, I'm ignorant of geography. Sorry. I know some people would go, maybe Dominican something else, because they'd go, dude, aren't you Haitian? Like, what's wrong calling yourself Haitian, anyways? I still think it's funny, but it's not funny because I don't like her being around those people, but because she's her ethnicity is mixed, she's going to have a lot easier time than me. And she probably sees it going on too. She probably sees it going on like, all right, I've been here this long and you haven't attacked me. And I know you just go, you're really not a fan of my aunt. Okay, well, there you go. Yeah, that's why I said some people are somewhat, in that Anthony dude too. His mother is a blonde, blue-eyed white woman. You just go, some of these people are protected because these people are so blinded by hatred. Right? They just look at you and go, sad. All right, so let's see. Yeah, we don't have that, suppose. We don't have that in High Park. So if you live in High Park and you're like that, you're not from High Park. Because when I moved to Orlando, I met this dude working at one of the apartment complexes who was from High Park. And we started talking about it because I had a problem, like I told you, at the Food Lion with my daughter. I was just like, well, I wasn't used to that. That's a new thing. That's how we can tell you're not from here. You're not even Americans, a lot of you. And if you are Americans, you came from somewhere where you just have a wicked hatred that other people don't have. Anyways, he was telling me about it. He goes, oh, yeah, it's wicked bad down here. He was telling me about it. That was like 1995. Right? Just, that's probably why they call people Southern blacks. That's why, because it's different than up here. So if you're from the South, like that Vermel person who came here from Georgia, how outrageous she was, people just look at you like, we don't do that up there. No. Some people would say it's ignorance from lack of education. Yeah, because you go, I don't understand. What do you want? Unfortunately, a lot of people do the thing with the not getting married and stuff up here now. But that might be new, where it was going on a long time in the South, and they don't do that up here. Right? They get people go married and they go to school because it's free for them, or they sort of, their attitude is like, we just don't want to work. Right? We just play the system. I don't know what you're talking about. That somehow other, like, white people are somehow holding you down. How the hell are they holding you down? We're stacked up in Section 8s in public housing just because we didn't get married. I don't understand, like, how you'll be held down by the white man. Anyways, it's just all a bunch of made up horse malarkey. People are going to hate people. Just usually it's out of envy. There's all sorts of people hating all sorts of people. You've got no offense, if they're putting on performance art or something, then they're not going to care. But you just go, you've got two people that it, it's got to be their entire relationship, but apparently they do it with everybody that they have a relationship of any kind with, where their entire relationship is making up that they have haters. Like they shove themselves in your face and then they abuse you because you're watching them online. I know you just go, yeah, that's why I honestly, it might be a good idea for them to go offline for a while. Just, yeah, it's just whatever's going on. It's just, I think I explained it like you definitely could see it with that guy that he brought in with the dreads because he started doing it with him. It's like, I mean, if he asked me what happened to him, it's from being abused, right? It's like grooming. And then the little bit of the family show that we went back in time and watched, um, like knowing nothing about these people. Um, right. It's just clearly there was a lot of dysfunction going on in the family, and it's got to be related to that. That must have been the parents must have been doing it. Where unfortunately there was the whole family dynamic was based on um, someone's doing something wrong and they're talking about them and stuff. Like I don't know if one of his parents have a mental illness or something. Just a lot of like paranoia and uh, it's not coming to me now, but I went over it last night. You just go, this is kind of disturbing. What I'm like, I know you just this is what concerns me the most about it. Okay, if they could think about what they're doing, because, like I said, from my recall, it came out of the gate on Twitter and using lion representation, like you have something to do with Jews or Jesus Christ or anonymous, the internet people. It appeared to me that he was putting himself in a room and he was going to try to do some sort of a program, remember? And then he was talking about he was getting mad every time someone said something about his family. We went over all that, and then he all of a sudden he incorporated this person, which I apologized for because I actually thought it was a joke. I was not insulting another person. I honest to God thought that it was a joke where they were making fun of Alex and Casey. I did. That's what I thought it was. I actually didn't believe it was a real person until I saw the videos. Remember, I thought it was like a joke, like like he's going out with the blow up doll. Okay, so, and then it just sort of like morphed and continued on and stuff, and it was like, okay, who are these people that you corralled into these chats that you won't even allow me to be in? That's the concern of mine. Because I was in one, I got on your Instagram, got accepted into your account. You did a live chat. I asked people if they could see me, and then someone indicated that they could, and then you deleted me off of it. So it becomes, who are all of these people that you corralled into these chats that you appear to just be abusing? Okay, that's because I can't even, to my understanding, recall, communicate with the public anymore. Right? I've been put in some sort of an internet Guantanamo Bay, and people can't Facebook friend request me. People can't comment me. I can't use Instagram. I can't use Twitter. And then someone like that is on TikTok Live, all of those things, and is clearly interacting with the people because he puts up the lives. And then you see them interacting and you go, who were these people? Were they part of Anonymous before? Like, were they part of the James Franco crew? And now you've got them in your chats, and it appears to me you're doing nothing but abusing them. So I don't appreciate that going on. Sometimes people can start out doing something and then they think that they're going to help people And I'm not sure just attacking them is helping them. Like I said, mental illness can creep up on you, like we viewed in those my 600-pound life yesterday, where a bunch of people couldn't figure out how to help a woman when that's all they were doing for years was helping people. And they couldn't figure out to transport her into a hospital or to help her get out of bed. I don't know if she had a medical condition and explained to her that she can't get out of bed and she forgot that she's sick or something, that she's paralyzed or whatever was going on. You just go, why aren't you there having orderlies come in and helping her sit up? Right? It didn't make any sense to me. And like I said, I don't like being mean, but after so many years ago, we promoted that on part of Anonymous. It was one of the shows we were watching years and years ago. So you go, okay, how many years is this going to make sense? And the woman told you it had been in 2022, correct? Unless you're lying on YouTube. Uh, she's telling you she hasn't gotten out of bed in 4 years. This has been going on since 2008. And like I said, it's at least 4 years ago that I began showcasing you on my Facebook page. So there's some sort of mental illness going on with the population where they think that that's normal. And like I said, mental illness can creep up on you. So I'm explaining to you that you got ill after the nuclear accident. Okay? That shouldn't seem normal, especially after all this time, that now you're using me as some sort of mode to keep a television show going. So maybe the woman in the bed and the people around her are just sort of, observing you. And she got annoyed. And it can be sort of a mesh of things. It doesn't mean that she's not ill. It doesn't mean that. But she can also see how horribly ill you people are. Not to get into a which is worse, but is there some reason that woman still hasn't had housing? Okay. And now you're here, you're a physical therapist, and you're a dietitian, and you're a doctor, and you're on a television show. You have a voice, okay, and you obviously have funding. Is there some reason that woman still doesn't have housing or an income or any way to live? Can you explain it to us? Okay. Like, why would you think a person could get to a point where she can't get out of a bed by 2022? Why would that be? You can't comprehend how that could happen? Okay. With the Holocaust? Okay. And just absolutely refusing to free us and just stop this insanity? You can't understand why a person would get that depressed that you can't get out of bed? Okay. I know. It's just you go, hello, what do they call it? Kettle and pot. Just because another person is mentally ill doesn't mean you're sane. So it's just some sort of, I give you the out to tell you that something happened to you in 2011 after the nuclear accident. The mental reasoning is gone. I give you that out rather than just continuously just telling you how psychopathically deranged you are. You're gonna continue having some sort of a society here with this going on. Yeah, it's like that with those Man at Health people. Just like I told you, I don't want to upset the woman. Just what happened today? I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're extremely mentally ill. I gave her this, that she had complete disassociation, we'll call it that, and that she was depersonalized. She didn't want to accept that it's strep A gas, GAS, and not a real virus. And what is this? How am I here? How was I? They didn't handcuff me. They didn't handcuff me, right? No. How am I here? Someone forcibly put a face mask on my face and I'm stripped naked for no reason. How is this even going on? Right. That's why you're so disassociated and depersonalized. That's why. Why wouldn't people just tell you to reduce your gas use? I've tried to explain some of it because they're in a delusion. God isn't allowing them to do that until they kill themselves off. Okay. It's like a bacteria that poisons its own host until the host dies and then all the bacteria die with it. Okay. Try not to get too upset. It's just your species has a somewhat, uh, I really don't think that you think. I don't mean to be mean, but you have a somewhat thinking brain. Okay. Uh, because of the binding and all of that I explained. Okay. It's more sort of like a passed down genetic learning. And then your society, being a Christian um, society, that's all mixed into it because you're very, very young. You wouldn't even have a binding or a psyche from a millennia ago. You weren't around 600 years ago. Okay. So even all of anything you learned is with within the past 600 years. Okay. And then it's here is all like a Christian upbringing and stuff. And that's all in there, all the religious doctrines you were taught and stuff on top of a primate psyche. So rather than think you're defective and you can't receive the teaching to be a human being, you're just not created to be a human being, not you're defective. Okay. And it's just a lot of you are coming off as very cruel, not just to my species, but to each other. So people might seem strange to you and getting mad and things, and because you're sick and you're not realizing what you're doing, obviously, or it's just because I'm not your species. So things that you think are funny and okay and stuff, I don't. So and it's like I've tried to explain it so many times, right? And it's just, anyways. I would say that's a good indicator of mental illness if people are getting mad at you all the time and you don't know why. Right? That's not really what happens to me in my reality. It's not people getting mad at me, no. It's just, I don't know if they're just forgetting things or something. It's just some of them. And it's just, okay. It's people that can't come out of the world system and the acting and stuff. And then they typically will get mad at me because it can't make sense, but they won't fix it either. They won't fix it either to give themselves that comfort. I've tried to for at least how many years now? 5 years now I've tried to go, this is all you have to do. This is all you have to do. It's not even going to end your world. That can't happen because your population doesn't walk anywhere. Okay? It's not going to do that. It's not going to do that. It helps you have a pleasant dying off in whatever doctrine you come up with. And you just can't do it. So you to some degree, you're tormented for the amount of time it's going to take you to finally stop it with me and fix it completely. Okay? All right. So that's for the upper people that are still, because they know that can't make any sense. And I explained it. Okay, for some of the youth with the parents that are still doing whacked out stuff and trying to get you to act like human beings, but that they don't act like human beings, and it doesn't make any sense. Okay. Now we're at cooling off periods and all this stuff, and you're just like, okay, again, somebody has to tell you. It's like, it's just after the interview and things that you were saying to me, right. Your species doesn't get married. Your species doesn't get married. So that's why children wouldn't want to get married. They just look at you like you to them appear mean and psychopathic, and they just go, I don't understand why it's because of their binder. Okay, it's just a different. It's more pleasant once their binder is completely gone, because then they're just a regular primate and they don't worry about judgment. They don't worry about all those Christian doctrines and things. It gets grosser, honestly. If you're a human being, it gets grosser. But they feel more comfortable and stuff because a binder isn't telling them that they're all going to die and they're not going to heaven and they're not going to be reborn in these bodies and stuff. Right? Once the caring about that is gone, then they don't get like that. They don't get scared and flip out on you. But their behavior and their speech can get worse. So, right, it's just obviously if you were in a situation where someone's trying to kill you and rape you, then you need to leave. So, whoever you are, right? Obviously, they must have saw you there, but I was directed over there, yes, because when I was at the Endicott Estate, I believe it was, I had thought of going over to the bridge, and then there you were. So hopefully, you're not someone that's skittish with the police or whatever, because someone's got to just make sure that you're okay over there. Okay, just it's not, I know if you're one of those people that's afraid of men or something, you try to just curb it down, right? It's just that's their job. They have to just make sure that you're all right. I don't believe in kicking people out of the town unless they're causing a problem, because like I said, you could have people coming here that don't have any money because they're trying to stop using. Right. So obviously, if you work at the Dunkin' Donuts, you can see if the person wanted something to eat or drink. Right. It's summertime, so I don't think it's a good idea for me to be approaching young men that are up here homeless. Just the only thought in my mind would be if they had a problem with men or they're afraid of the police or something, right? That's why we gotta just sort of like, there was a dude there with the backpack on his phone, right? So someone like that could, unless he's afraid of men, like just maybe someone that works at Dunkin' Donuts. It doesn't look like a uniformed police officer. It, I just that's not, some people are really good at that, and that's just not my function. Like I can locate someone if they said a prayer or something and they, right, it's just I know it sounds bad, right? You just go, I just don't think it's a good idea for, right, obvious reasons.